Good morning, students. Today we are going to start with the next chapter of geography, that is chapter number 7, Lifelines of National Economy. Now children, why are we calling? There are three things which we are calling as lifelines of national economy. Now what are those three things which we are calling as lifelines of national economy? They are transport, trade, and communication. Transport, communication, and trade. These three are called the lifelines of national economy. Now, why they are called as lifelines of national economy? It is because, children, when we look around, we see that there are so many things we use in our day-to-day life. There are so many different materials which we use in our day-to-day life. Some of these are available in our immediate surroundings. Few we can get here itself. But for few things, we have to go to another places to buy them. Goods and services do not move from supply locals to demand locals on their own. If you think the wheat is grown in the village and it will automatically come to the cities or to your house, is it possible? Definitely not. What do we require? We require traders in between. We require transportation. Then only the goods can move from one place to another place. So the movement of these goods and services from their supply location to the demand location necessitates the need for transport. So why do we need transport? We need transport to transfer the goods or for the movement of the goods and services from the supply location. That means where they are produced, from that place to the demand location where there are consumers. So this movement, it requires the transportation. In the same manner, there are some people who are engaged in facilitating these movements. So there are so many people who are making this movement successful. For example, there are so many truck drivers or maybe the bullock cart drivers. So many are there in between. There are so many traders in between who are buying the raw materials in the villages and then sending them to the factories or industries. So these are known to be the traders who make the products come to the consumer by transportation. So it is the traders, because as a consumer, if you are living in a city, you cannot go to village and buy the goods. So it is the traders who will buy the goods from the village and then they will transport it to the cities so that we consumers can use them. And children, today is the world of globalization. We cannot get the goods within one place. If I want everything to be available near my place, it is not possible. I have to depend upon so many other regions for so many different products. So the pace of development of a country depends upon the production of goods and services as well as their movement over the space. So the development of a country, pace means at what speed it is developing. Whether it is developing fast or whether it is developing slowly. So that pace of development of a country depends upon the production of goods and services. How many goods are produced in our country as well as their movement. Because if the goods will not move, then there will be no trade, then there will be no production, then the goods will not reach to the consumers. So it is of no use producing the goods So the movement of the goods is very much necessary. Therefore, efficient means of transport are prerequisites for fast development. This is your first question, children. And this is the question which is always asked from this chapter. And this is a 3-marker or a 5-marker question. Efficient means of transport are prerequisites for fast development. What is the answer you will give? Answer is goods and services do not move from supply locals to demand locals on their own. This is the first point. Second point, the movement of these goods and services from supply location to demand location necessitates the need for transport. The goods have to be, then you can add, the goods have to be transported from a rural area to an urban area. And vice versa. Sometimes even some goods which are produced in the factories, they have to reach to the rural area. So we need the transportation for that. Then next point you will write this. The pace of development of a country thus depends on the production and goods and services as well as their movement. More number of goods are moving from one place to another place, there will be more profit and that will give a faster development to the country. Therefore, efficient means of transport are prerequisite for fast development. Required, prerequisite means precondition, which you call it as. The basic thing which is required. So without transportation, the goods cannot move. So that is the answer. It can make a 5-marker, children. So it's a very, very important question. Let's continue. Transport has been able to achieve this with the help of equally developed communication system. If you think that only transport is required for the goods to reach from a village to a city or from a city to a village, we are wrong. We need even the communication. Now, communication is between producers and the consumers. For example, we are the consumers. If we need rice and the traders are transporting only wheat to us, it will be of no use. There will be a loss. To us, we will not be able to get the product which we require, and it will be a loss to the farmer, it will be a loss to the trader. So there should be a communication between the producers and the consumers both. So that way, communication is also a very, very important part. Therefore, transport, communication and trade are complementary to each other. Children, this is one more question. That transport, communication and trade are complementary to each other. What is the answer for this? I am telling you again. The world has been converted today into a large village with the help of efficient and fast-moving transport. Transport has been able to achieve this with the help of equally developed communication system. Without transport, goods will not reach to the market or to the consumers. Without the communication between the producers and the consumers, there cannot be any proper production, and without the traders in between, there cannot be the movement of the goods. Therefore, trade, communication and transport are complementary to each other. They are very much necessary for each other. Even if one is missing, the other two are of no use. railways, airways, waterways, newspapers, radio, television, cinema, internet, these all have contributing to its socio-economic progress in many ways. Children, we all know that the transport, we have various means of transport. We have roadways, railways, airways, waterways, all these are contributing to the transport. In the same manner, we have communication, different communication methods. We have newspapers, radios, television, cinema, internet, etc. for communicating with the between the producers and the consumers. For example, if you are a producer, you might have seen so many advertisements. If there are no advertisement, which is a part of the communication, you will not come to know that which product is launched in the market. In the same way, today you can sell your goods through the internet. So that's again, you are communicating over there. And these are the things which are contributing to the socio-economic progress of our country today. The traders from the local to the international levels have added to the vitality of its economy. Today, the traders are not selling the goods locally. They are not selling only nationally or locally. Once upon a time, the traders used to sell the goods within the local villages or from the local villages to the towns. Today, the goods have reached to the international market. So that has increased our economy. It has enriched our life and added substantially to growing amenities and facilities for the comforts of life. Because today the trade is taking place at a global level, international level, the people's standards have increased with lots of uh, lots of facilities for the people. Today, if we want any product which is produced in Germany, we can easily get in India, sitting here at our home. This is because the trade has today reached to the global market. We are able to get all the comforts of the life sitting at home. So that's why all the three, transport, communication, and trade, are complementary to each other. So, in this chapter, children, we will read about how modern means of transport and communication serve as lifelines of our nation. How transport, communication serve as lifelines of our nation and its in the modern economy. It is thus evident that a dense and efficient network of transport and communication is prerequisite for local, national, and global trade of today. If we want the trade to grow from local to the international level, we need a very well made transportation system, communication, and the trading system that will enhance the country's development. So that's the introductory part of the chapter, children. Now you may get a question that which three things are called as the lifelines of national economy and why? And why? So you have to give how transportation is important, how communication is important, and how trade is important. And that's how you will give your answer, that why they are called as lifelines of national economy. Now, why are they called as lifelines of national economy? Because without these three, there cannot be trade. If there is no trade, if the goods will not move from one place to another place, if there are no traders who will make this movement efficient, then the people will not, the consumers will not get the goods which they desire. And there will be no profit to the producers also. And there will be no economic development. That is why these three are called as lifelines of a national economy, because they enhance our economy. So that's the first part, an introductory part, children. Let's move on to the next part. In the next part, we are going to start with the first topic, that is transport. How transport is important. Means of transport. We have three means of transport. That is your landways, waterways and airways. Landways, we are going to study about roadways, railways, pipelines. Waterways, you are going to study about inland waterways and overseas waterways. Air transport, domestic airways and the international airways, in which we have both public sector as well as private airlines at present. So one by one, we'll go through all of them. Under the land, the first topic we are going to cover is your roadways. Now, how the question comes here, children? For the roadways, I am telling how roadways score over score over railways. It can come for 5 marks or 3 marks. How roadways score over railways. It can be asked in another manner, the same question, only the lines may be different. Roadways. How roadways have an edge over railways. Instead of score over, they will ask you edge over. That means how roadways are better than railways. So you don't give that in roadways we can sit very easily, we can go fast, etc., etc. That should not be your answer, children. You are in class 10. So you have to give the answer in a proper manner. So the answer is given here in points, children. You can directly learn from this PPT. This is a proper PPT made for you, and this you can easily directly learn. You don't have to write in your registers also anything. So first point is construction cost of roads is much lower than that of railway lines. That is investment. If you are making roadways, investment is less. If you are making railway lines, investment is more. Next, roads can traverse comparatively more dissected and undulating topography. Even if the terrain is very much uneven terrain. If you go to the forests of Madhya Pradesh, if you go to the mountainous regions, any such regions you go where there is so much of uneven physiographic division or uneven terrain is there, it is easy to build roads than the railway lines. Next, roads can negotiate higher gradients of slopes. If you go to mountainous regions, what kind of means of transport you will see more? Roadways or railways? Definitely we will see roadways, because roadways can be built even in the steep slopes. Gentle and steep slopes, but railways cannot be built. You can build roadways on the steep slopes, but you cannot build the railways. For example, the mountains, if you go to any hilly station, maybe except Darjeeling or Shimla, one or two places where you have the toy trains. Other than that, you will not see any train facility to the upper areas. Like if you are going to Manali, you cannot go by a train to Manali. Definitely. Only up to a certain extent you can go by a train, then you have to definitely go by a roadway only. Next, road transport is economical in transportation of few persons, relatively smaller amount of goods over shorter distances. That means if you are traveling to a shorter distance, roadways is better than railways. Economical means less cost. For example, I live in Janakpuri. If I have to go to a very nearby area, maybe a Harinagar or maybe Tilak Nagar, I think the cost of traveling through roadways is less than the cost of traveling through the railways. Because if I have to take a railway from Janakpuri, I have to first take a rickshaw or some other transportation to go to the railway station. Then I have to take the metro and then go to the Tilak Nagar. Again, I have to take some other conveyance of the roadways and then we go to the destination. So the cost is more. But if I go to, in the same way goods, if I have to transport the goods to a shorter distance, roadways is always economical. Next, it also provides door-to-door service. As I said, if I have to go to a shorter distance like Harinagar or Tilak Nagar from Janakpuri, I can catch an auto rickshaw at my doorstep. Doorstep means just outside my home, and then get down just wherever the destination, just at the destination point. But railways is not like that. So, roadways are better than railways because they provide us door-to-door service. Thus, the cost of loading and unloading is much lower. That means, if I told you already this point, if I am going by a railways, first I have to take a roadway, then change, then go through the railways, then again I have to get down from the railways and take a roadways to reach my destination. So I am loading and unloading. I am climbing, coming down, up and down. So in the same manner, the goods also. So if I am carrying goods to the metro railways, the same thing will happen. I have to unload and load so many times. But if it is a road transport, I don't have to do this loading and unloading. Just once loading and one time unloading. That's it. And the last point, road transport is also used as a feeder to other modes of transport. If I have to take a flight, how will I reach to the airport first of all? Again, I have to take a roadways to reach to the airport. If I have to go by a railway, again I have to take a roadway. So roadways acts as a feeder. If many of you travel by metro, you might have seen when you get down the metro, you get a feeder. Why it is called as feeder? Because that feeder is that feeder is giving you the service from a railway station to your doorstep. So it is called as a feeder. So it can be a seaport, it can be an airport, or it can be a railway station. So the roadways score over the railways. Children, as I told, it comes for 5 marks. And I have given you here 6 points. You can learn any 5 points and explain them. That will complete your first. Another question, I have given you 3 questions, children, in this chapter right till now. So this is the third question, how roadways score over railways or how roadways edge over the railways. So today I am stopping it here. In the next class, we will continue with the types of roadways, children. I'll show you some pictures also, and then types of roadways. Different types of roadways we have. Like you might have heard of the state highways, national highways. You might have heard the names: national highways, district roads, village roads, border roads. So we are going to do these types of roads in the next topic. So that's all, children. The same points are repeated here. Benefits of roadways over the railways. The same points are repeated in a shorter manner. So in the earlier slide, they are little bit described. So you learn from this part so that you can describe them in the exam. So that's all, children, for today. That's all, children, for today. Have a good day.